You've been praying with a quiet ache, asking for doors to open, asking for relief, asking for proof that heaven still steps into your everyday. Listen, God is answering, but not in the way your spreadsheets expect. The provision coming now will hush the logic you've relied on. It will arrive from people you stopped counting on, from invitations you dismissed, from solutions you never searched for because you thought you had to fix everything yourself. This is not a rerun of the same pattern you've been trying to repeat. It's a new rhythm, slower, stranger, intentional, designed to loosen the limits you placed on what's possible. Some blessings tiptoe in, almost invisible, a quiet message, a small check, a poured-out favor that seems too simple to call miraculous. Others land like a storm, sudden and swift, rearranging plans you thought were set in stone. Both are God's hand. Both are meant to change how you trust. Slow down and pay attention. When provision comes from places you don't control, it's not God making you dependent. It's God inviting you into deeper trust. He's aligning your heart with a purpose bigger than your balance sheet. Don't dismiss the improbable. Don't throw away the small kindness because it doesn't look like a solution. Often, the unexpected is the very terrain where heaven likes to move. Right now, something is about to appear from a place you stopped watching. It will look unusual. It may come disguised as coincidence, as a favor, as a late call at the end of a long day. Prepare to recognize it. Receive it with gratitude, not suspicion. Let it remind you of a larger truth. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. The heavens still move on your behalf. Curious where this favor might show up in your life? Take a moment. In the comments, write one thing you stopped watching for. Then stay with me for the next video, where we'll name the doors God is opening and how to step gently into what He's already sending. You asked for open doors, and now the answer drifts in from places you stopped watching. It might arrive like the hush before dawn, barely noticed, or like a sudden wind that scatters every plan you clung to. Money will show up through a person you hadn't expected, an invitation you almost declined, or a solution you had stopped looking for. Not because you pushed harder, but because something beyond your effort chose to move. This is not a repeat of old patterns. It's a new rhythm designed to expand the limits you set for yourself. Where you once hustled to chase provision, now you'll learn to listen. Slow down. Let your logic step aside for a moment. Some blessings are threaded quietly into ordinary days. A forgotten rebate, a small contract revived, an old contact who remembers you. Others will land so swiftly you can't plan for them. An unsolicited check, a door suddenly opening into steady work, an unexpected gift that shifts your season. When provision comes from places you don't control, it isn't meant to make you dependent on surprise. It's meant to deepen your trust and align your heart with what God is doing. Notice the simple things. Recognize the improbable. Favor often shows up disguised, in a casual conversation, in a redirected appointment, in a no that eventually becomes a yes. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are not alone. The money coming your way carries a larger message. You are remembered. You are seen. Heaven is still moving on your behalf. Don't dismiss what seems small. Welcome the strange detours. They are the terrain where God likes to move. Prepare your heart to receive and to steward what arrives with wisdom and gratitude. Curious where this might come from for you? Pause and listen. Leave a reflective comment below, one small sign you've ignored, or a place you suddenly sense favor. And come back for the next video, where we'll explore how to steward these surprises well. You have been waiting at the doorway, hands open, wondering when the answer will come. Quietly, the sound of movement reaches you. Not the clanging of what you expected, but a soft footstep on a path you stopped following. Money arrives from sources you forgot to check. A phone call from an old acquaintance, an invitation to a small meeting, a solution that once seemed irrelevant. It does not look like your plan. It does not follow your spreadsheet. It shows up because God chose to reroute provision through places you no longer controlled. Slow down. Breathe. The new rhythm He brings is deliberate. It will not rush you into the familiar hustle. These are not repeats of the strategies you've used. This is rearrangement. Limits you set for yourself being quietly removed so your faith can expand. Some blessings whisper. A check that arrives without fanfare. A client who remembers you. A quiet reduction in a recurring expense. Others land with suddenness, a surprise offer, a door swinging wide before you can draft a contingency plan. When the blessing comes from unexpected places, it's not about creating dependency on miracles. It's about inviting your heart into deeper trust. You are being taught to recognize favor in plain clothes. What looks simple or improbable may be the very instrument of your breakthrough. Don't dismiss a small rise in your account as coincidence. Don't explain away an unlikely connection as luck. These are breadcrumbs of grace leading you toward purpose. There is a larger word tied to this provision. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Heaven still moves on your behalf, even when you stop looking. The money that comes now carries more than relief. It brings confirmation that God is working in the hidden places of your life. Are you curious to see where this door will lead? Pause and consider. What small, unlikely opening did you close off that might actually be favor? Share a reflective comment below, one sentence about the place you forgot to watch, and then move to the next video to learn how to steward what arrives. You have been waiting with a quiet insistence. You prayed for open doors, then kept living, paying bills, making calls, holding on, while God moved in the spaces you stopped watching. Now something different arrives. It doesn't look like the usual breakthrough. It looks ordinary. It looks almost accidental. And yet it carries a new pattern, provision that doesn't fit your calculations. Slow down. Breathe. Notice the small things first. A message from an old friend that turns into an unexpected invitation. A job lead that comes through a casual conversation. A payment or gift that shows up when you had stopped expecting it. These are not coincidences. They are soft footfalls of favor, coming from corridors you stopped patrolling. They ask nothing of your frantic striving. They ask for something quieter, trust. This is not a repeat of past cycles. It is a new rhythm designed to loosen the limits you placed on what God can do for you. Where you once measured success by your effort, you will now learn to measure it by His movement. When finances arrive from places you do not control, they come to align your heart, not to make you dependent. They are invitations to deeper faith. They are rehearsals for greater things. Be attentive to the disguise. Blessings sometimes wear the clothes of inconvenience. They might arrive as a small gig, a favor from a stranger, or a door you had written off. Do not dismiss them as too little or too late. In those quiet beginning points, heaven often rehearses its larger plans. You are not alone in this. You are not forgotten. The money that comes is a marker, a sign that heaven still moves on your behalf. Let it shift your expectations. Let it change the questions you ask. Instead of wondering how much you can do, begin to wonder how much God can do through what seems simple. Curious about where this favor might come next? Share in the comments one small sign you've overlooked lately. Reflect on it. Then join the next video, where we'll name those disguised doors and learn how to walk through them when they open. Block 5 of 9. You thought the doors would open on your timetable. You prayed, you planned, you tightened your belt, then waited for the usual pattern to repeat. But God is not replaying an old song. He is composing a new rhythm for your life. Listen, slow your breath. What felt like silence is the calm before a rearrangement of provision. Money arrives differently now. It slips in through conversations you almost ignored, through an invitation you declined before, through a quiet solution that felt too small to matter, and then it becomes enough. These are not coincidences. They are appointed footsteps of favor that move in ways your logic cannot map. You will be tempted to measure worth by how noisy the blessing feels. Don't. Some of the deepest provisions are disguised as ordinary offers and humble opportunities. This is not about making you dependent on surprises. It's about stretching your faith to recognize God's fingerprints in unexpected places. Each unexpected gift is an invitation. Trust me more than your budget, more than your plan, more than what you can see. When provision comes from outside your control, it asks you to reframe security. It teaches you that your value is not tied to your methods, and that heaven's economy sometimes bypasses human systems to set you free. Pay attention to small signs, a timely call, an overlooked check, a door opening where you had stopped knocking. These are not random. They are deliberate. As you notice, your heart will realign. Gratitude will replace worry. Courage will replace calculation. And you will begin to walk into territory you once thought closed. Right now, lean into curiosity. What small, improbable thing might be the beginning of a larger provision for you? Reflect and share. What unexpected favor have you seen? Or what open door are you starting to notice? Leave a comment below with one honest sentence. Your words may become a map for someone else. Stay with me for the next video. The story continues, and a fresh layer of revelation is coming. You have been waiting for doors to open, and now a different kind of knock begins, soft, out of rhythm with everything you planned, coming from places you stopped watching. It might be a message from an old contact, a refund you forgot about, an invitation that feels out of the blue, or a check that arrives when you've already stopped counting. These come not because your strategy finally worked, but because someone decided to step in and rewrite the scene. Slow down. Breathe. The cadence of this provision is deliberate. Sometimes a whisper that you almost miss, sometimes a sudden landing that takes your breath. Neither is random. Each is a gentle correction of the limits you set for yourself, a new rhythm meant to expand what you expect. When money arrives from places you don't control, its purpose is not to make you dependent on surprise. It's to deepen your trust, to align your heart with a broader purpose that your logic cannot design. You will want to dismiss the small things, to wait for a pattern you recognize. Don't. Disguised favor often wears humble clothes. A simple invitation can carry access. A return call can be the pivot. The unexpected is God's preferred terrain. He loves to move where you've stopped looking. This isn't a repeat of yesterday's hustle. It's an unfolding of heaven's timing, precise, generous, and profoundly personal. Pay attention to the subtle signals, doors that reopen, conversations that veer into opportunity, finances that shift without strain. Each is a message. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Allow your heart to be retuned to wonder and readiness. Expect surprises. Receive them with gratitude. Steward them with wisdom. Curious. What if provision is already walking toward you from a door you closed? Comment below with one small sign you once overlooked, or the moment when God surprised you. Watch the next video to learn how to recognize these openings and steward the favor that comes. You have been leaning on the same calculations, tracing the same routes, and praying that doors would open. Now something different is moving. It arrives quietly at first. A phone call you almost let go to voicemail, a message from an old contact, a small check you didn't expect. Then, when you are not scrambling to control the outcome, provision begins to come from places you stopped watching. It will not fit your timetable or your formulas. That is the point. This season is a new rhythm. It is not reward for hustle. It is invitation to trust. God is rewriting the margins you placed around your life, stretching the horizon so you can imagine more than you dared. Some blessings will tiptoe in, soft and almost hidden. Others will land like a sudden door opening, leaving you breathless. Both kinds carry the same word. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Slow down. Notice the small things, the unexpected invitation, the favor that shows up disguised as inconvenience, the person who remembers you when you thought no one did. Learn to recognize favor wrapped in ordinary moments. When provision arrives from places outside your control, it is not meant to make you passive. It is meant to deepen your dependence on the one who sees beyond spreadsheets and plans. Let your heart realign to his purposes, not merely your needs. This is a season to sit with wonder and discernment. Pay attention to patterns, not panic. Receive with gratitude, steward with wisdom, and keep your heart open to where God is steering you. He will surprise you in ways that quiet your logic and expand your faith. Curious where this doorway might show up next in your life? Take a moment now to reflect. What small, unlikely favor might you have dismissed that could actually be God's provision? Share one thought in the comments below, one place where you are ready to recognize disguised favor, and then come back for the next video to uncover practical steps to walk into this new rhythm. You have been standing at thresholds, whispering prayers for open doors. Now, something different arrives, not the same pattern you worked so hard to repeat, but a new rhythm entering your life. Money comes from places you stopped watching, a call you missed months ago, an old friend who remembers you, an invitation you nearly declined. It slips in quietly, or it lands like a sudden knock you weren't expecting. Either way, it carries a signature, God's unexpected favor. Slow down. Notice the small things. A refund that appears on your account. A gig offered out of the blue. A relationship that brings a resource you hadn't planned on. These are not coincidences. They are not tests of your hustle. They are intentional interruptions designed to loosen the limits you set for yourself and deepen your trust. When provision arrives from places you don't control, it doesn't make you passive. It reorients your heart to His purpose. You may have been taught to measure success by your effort, your plan, your timing. That measure still has value, but it's no longer the only rhythm you follow. This season asks you to watch for disguised favor, blessings that look ordinary until you name them holy. Practice recognizing what's from heaven by the way it shifts your fear into faith, your scarcity into gratitude, your isolation into belonging. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Heaven still moves on your behalf, often through surprising instruments, people, invitations, solutions you thought were closed. Receive with humility. Steward with wisdom. Let the surprise deepen your devotion rather than loosen your resolve. Curious which closed door might open next in your life? Pause and listen. Share in the comments one place you'd stopped watching, one small thing you'll now pay attention to. I'll read them. In the next video, we'll explore practical steps to steward these unexpected gifts so they multiply into lasting provision. This is the quiet hinge of the message. The moment you stop trying to manufacture what only He can produce, and you begin to receive what He is choosing to give. You've prayed for open doors. You've watched for answers. Now lean back and listen. The arrivals will not always look like the thunderclap you expected. Sometimes they will be a small note slipped under the door of your routine life. Sometimes a sudden invitation that rearranges your plans. Either way, they are meant to loosen the tight grip you have on outcomes and to stretch the breadth of your faith. When money appears from places you weren't watching, don't rush to explain it away. This is not the fruit of a familiar strategy that you can repeat and control. It is a new rhythm, deliberate, gentle, and designed to expand what you believe is possible. Allow it to soften the part of you that says you must do everything alone. Let it baptize your finances with a reminder. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Heaven still moves on your behalf. Pay attention to the small signs. A call, a message, a timely conversation. These are not coincidences. They are whispers of favor dressed in ordinary clothes. Steward them with gratitude, humility, and wise discernment. Use what comes as a way to bless others, to realign priorities, and to testify that God sometimes answers outside the blueprint of our plans. So go slowly now. Notice the subtle shifts. Celebrate the sudden shifts. Record them, name them, and let them rewrite the story you believe about provision. Your responsibility is not to manufacture miracles, but to recognize them and to respond with a heart aligned to His purposes. Curiosity. Where might this favor be waiting for you today? Reflective comment. Share one small thing you've noticed lately that felt like a nudge from God. Next video, join me there as we unpack practical steps to recognize, receive, and steward these unexpected provisions in the season ahead.